Hi there, it's me, Gimatar here. I'm recapping Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush, Season 1, Episode 33. At a white tent, heaters are placed to melt the frozen Rovian, as Yuhi tears up, crying about how how could this happen to Rovian. Yuhi says Rovian doesn't look any closer to melting. Yuhi thinks it's probably an alien ice made for something amazingly advanced science. He just vaguely recalls hearing the Wung's name before. Yuna, still in despair, has no choice as she leaves the tent. She tells the Odo twins that if her blazing heart won't melt that ice, then she must search for another way. Yuna finds out that someone is hauling themselves up again. She bursts through the door, declaring that the venture's president, Yugioh, has an order for them. Create an incredible card capable of defeating the Lung. Emmy suddenly pops up, greeting them, but is pushed over by Udius's greeting them the same way she did following his I-beam, followed by his I-beam, which tries to melt Robian. It shoots all over the place, but like crazy, scaring everyone, which Maddox scolds him for. Yuhi is said that Robian didn't melt at all. Adidas transforms back into his normal form as he becomes downhearted that his beams won't work. On the ice. Yumu recalls that the Wung said he's traveling around space to deepen his relationships with everyone before she and Yuhi realize that if they leave him alone, all the humanity will eventually end up like Robian. Maddox decides to begin the Wung countermeasures, meaning in order to prevent such a situation, but Yuhi warns him not to go making other people's houses into meeting rooms. Yumu confirms that since they don't know enough about the Woog's identity, they can't make any real countermeasures, which, while Udius knows he has heard of the name the Woog before, Imi explains that it's simple. All they have to do is beat him up in a rush stroll, right? Yumu and Graves wish if only that were easy. Yuna arrives to inform the gang that she is having a card made to beat the Woog. The twins wonder if she can do that, though Yuna doesn't know of the impossible and Maddox measures that if Yuna makes a new card, will they be accepted by the current Rush Duel rules. Yuna assures everyone that there's no need to worry. She is the universe's law, the universe's order, and the president of the Goha Ventures. Yumu calls it amazingly convincing. Graves asks Yuna when the new card will be finished, and Yuna informs them that a prototype card should be finished soon at Musaba Heavy Machinery's card creation plant. But the scenery goes dark as the wind howls. Maddox comments that the gust is powerful. Yumu realize that the Woog is back. The Woog replies in return and orders Team Musaba to assemble immediately. Udius tries to convince him that the new card is not ready yet, and Yuna muses that it should be finished soon, but they don't have the time to go back and pick it up. Me and Delster, the volunteers to go after. Yulia suggests asking Townsend to handle it because she can move the fastest by passing through the house windows and wedges. Maddox comments that a cat that's a cat for Meadowstar. Yuna agrees that let Meadowstar take care of things. Meowster runs all over the buildings until she sees the Musaba Heavy Machinery building, claiming that that is it. The Wung's ship. The Wung stares at 4 tangerines as he laments how freezing it is. Udius calls the curiosity calls on the Curiosity that he will weave the rest to him. The Curiosity announces that the Rush Duel tournament of friendships second round will now commence. Maddox sighs that Meadowstar couldn't make it as Yuhi shivers due to the temperature in the ship. Out of the Musaba heavy machinery, the workers observe that the pressure is good. Same with the cold and temperature. And there are no problems with the multiplayer molecular coding. One of them informs that they've broken past the critical temperature on an output of 75%. The output increases to 95 to 100%, which means the new card's creation is complete. A large green machine opens and reveals a new Rush Duel card. The workers call it a success and claims the Musaba heavy machinery technology is the best in the universe, while revealing to Asaka as the worker in the red shirt sweat drops. Milster tells Asaka to hurry up and give her the card, and Asaka reminds her to make sure to tell Yuna that this was all thanks to Musaba Heavy Machinery's technology. Milster runs all over the buildings until she sees the Musaba Heavy Machinery. Oh wait, I must have wrote that twice. Okay. Asaka as the worker's red shirt. At the Wung ship, the Curiosity announces that the second round Musaba Town will be sending Imi and the Great King of Terror team, the Makeda Membre. Yuhi say the new opponent's name with Curiosity. The entrance opens beside the gang, revealing the silhouetted dinosaur with glowing red eyes, while the Imi comments how huge he is. As Mokeda approaches, Mokeda is shocked to learn that he is a giant alien. Mokeda greets the gang, and he is a space dinosaur. Maddox notes that Mokeda doesn't like the type to spit fireballs. Mokeda admits that he likes mixing models, so he would never do something so terrifying. He shows the gang his figurines he worked on as a sign of their friendship. Udius is impressed to think that there exists spaceship materialization technology outside of valve gear, but Yumi assures him that they're just models. Mokeda explains that he modeled a wooden mock-up of the spaceship and then made it of a combination of shrinky thinky and parts from 1/3 and 1/75 scale model tank and fighter model kits. He is ecstatic to learn that they're all from scratch. Mokeda blushes while telling Yuhi that he made parts with a space 3D printer too. Yuhi admits that it's awesome and calls Mokeda awesome. Emi comments the printer as janky. Yuhi tells her that she's wrong. Weathering can backfire on her on something as big as a spaceship. He points out that the figure is amazingly detailed with great precision. The other has a 0.2 mm pin vice to drill inside and light it up by Mokeda. Rosen, this really is very gear's miniaturization technology, as Udius observes that the figures are so precise and specific. Yumu tells him once again that this is just a model. Mokeda thinks that this is the first time he's been praised so much, but he's so happy. Mokeda wonders what that doll is. Mokeda explains that this is the 1/35 scale soldier model for modified. He says modified, but it's been reshaped with a lot of polyester putty. So that's a little of. Discovers that the model managed to shrink the organism and immobilize it. Me exaggerates declares that this is done correcting This is done. She is done, correcting him. And besides, that boys sure do like that stuff. Decides to start the duel already. If she and Makeda are going to, Makeda apologizes for getting carried away when he starts thinking about plastic models. Curiosity orders the duelists to start the positions. Emi and Makeda declare their names, insert their decks in the duel discs to deploy the blades, and call Rush Duel, causing the green hologram's dome to materialize. Makeda declares his turn and draws his hand, containing Decoratus Shield, Stargate Cutter, Die Kit, Spinosaurus, Die Knit Kit, Baryoroxix, and Die Knit Kit, Perter Runner. He summons Dyna Kit, Peter Runner, Diarrhea Kit, Baryoroxix, and Dianit Kit, Spinosaurus. Before setting 2 cards in its his turn, Yugioh warns that Makeda has a plastic dinosaur deck, calling it weird. Graves calls him what it is, prompting Yugioh to explain that Makeda loves building plastic model kits, but all of the summoned monsters aren't that good. Graves believes that Makeda has more models. Emi doesn't know the difference between some toys and plastic models, so she declares her turn and draws her hand, containing Mystical Elves, Saltman Mop, Garbage Genie Imps, Revolt, the Agent of Queening Vince, Washing Arwalnini, and Cosmic Queen. She summons Arthone and the Agent of Queening Venus, then pays 500 white points to activate the effect of Venus. She sends the top card of her deck to the graveyard, and the card it was sent was Aqua type. She can special summon Cleaning Fairy's Lily with 400 attack. Emi sweeps away Aroni and Cleaning Fairy Lily, and claims no pun intended before tribute summoning chanting. When filming's over, I guess I can leave Queen up and tear down to you. Come out, Cosmo Queen. Cosmo Queen appears holding a towel and bucket with 2,400 attack points, prompting Graves to transform it into his alien form. As he points out, it's Emi's new ace monster. Ulius claims that Emi's red star is about to burst blue. Emi sets 2 cards face cards and declares battle, with Venus attacking Peter Runner with green shielding blades, reducing Makeda to 3,900 life points. As the opponent groans that it really hurts, Emi tells him she's not done as Cosmic Queen attacks Spinosaurus. Makeda laments that it hurts more as his life points reduced to 3,000. Emi ends her turn. Yuhi notes that Makeda is concerned. Graves nods and asks him whose side he's on, causing Yuhi to stammer. Yumu tells Graves that Yuhi also loves plastic models, so he wants to cheer him on. Makeda reminds the twins that whoever loses the duel becomes like Robian. Yuhi cries that he already knows that. Yulia still muses on the Wung's name, wondering where he has heard it before. Yuna groans that it would be so much easier if they had those new cards, and asks where Meowster is. Meowster is on her way back from the place, but it's stopped by London, who winks at her. Back at the Wung ship, Makeda declares his turn and draws Plastic World. Spin for Russ, Knit Kit, Full Scratch Hero, and Peter Runner. He summons Peter Runner, and Baryoroxix. and then tributes them to tribute summon, chanting, "Cross the gate, I await victory on my plate, 'cause I'm divine." Sublime meaning, rhymes, splitting dimes, all perfect like the DIY. No catch, I build my stuff from full scratch. It's complete. Dynamax kit full scratch no. Dynamax full scratch no. Merges with 2,500 attack points. Yugioh calls it amazing, and he knew Monica had a super amazing model with his design sense, causing Graves to once again ask him whose side he's on. Makeda chuckles and blushes as she makes his really happy that Emmy gets how much work he put into it. He went into it. Emmy asks him how's that different from the other monsters, but tells him to save his explanation. Full scratch from Makeda summons Diakit Spinosaurus Ganon, activates the equipped spell card Steg Cutter, which means the level of full Scatter goes by 3 and gains 300 attack. Yugioh and Makeda gasp that full Scatter is level 10. Yugioh points out that out in the equipped spell card, Makeda activates the field spell Plastic World, and it increases the levels of all face-up dinosaur-type monsters on the field by 2. Yuna is surprised that the monster levels went up even higher, and Graves gasps that it's level 12. Makeda raps PS, ABS, PE, KPS. I'm enthused about plastic. No ignorance. They're all different. We're all living in a plastic world. And me wonders what's the difference between the models, so that they're all made from oil and they're all the same, which shocks Makeda, who decides to show her the difference between each material. He sends the 2 cards of his deck to the graveyard to use the ultimate material drive, effective full scratch Rano. And for the rest of the turn, all dinosaur-type monsters on the field gain 100 attack per its own level. As he activates the ultimate material drive effect, Uni gasps that all of Makeda's monsters' attack increased, and Madrix concludes that why Makeda increased all their levels. That's why Makeda increased all their levels. Burn Rock's attacks Venus with missiles, reducing Emmy to 2,900 life points. As she explains, Makeda has done it now. Makeda raps that ABS is hard and strong, but cracks under an enamel when Pomeranian is super soft and bouncy. Full Scratcherino is built of both and attacks Cosmo Queen with perfect Fulmar Crush. Emmy stramples her name as her life points reduced to 1,300. Makeda declares it's time for the finish. Yumi says Yumi doesn't have monsters. Protect her either. And Yuna, worried, wonders what now. Makeda and Julius note that Yumi attacks the posters and Duel is. Yumi worries, wonders what now. Makeda and Julius know that Emi takes the attack of Manosaurus, and Duel will be over. Emi has her head downcast for seconds, till she raises up crying, "Ha, huh?" As if like a gas in shock before Emi activates the trap card. Garbage Genie Imps revolt while choosing up to 2 level 3 or lower monsters. Or normal monsters in her graveyard, and special summons them to the face-up attack. She can choose up to 2, but she'll just take 1. Benosaurus attacks Oroy with a field fiery blast. Emmy gasps as her name. As her life points reduced to 200. She wonders what happens next. Makeda guesses he'll have to wait for the point to dry first. He ends his turn, and his monster attack returns to normal. Yumi claims in relief that was close. Maddox claims that this is the last straw, and Yuna calls it outrageous, which is if only they had the new card. Graves thinks Emmy has risen from the depths of despair before, and she's not going not to be defeated by something like this. He encourages her to show them the promise of a lifetime. Emmy rises back up as she declares her turn and draws. Shape of Aqua, Mage Broom Power, Dinah Keto, the Cleaning Maiden, Washing Away, and Cleaning Fairy Lily. She summons Array and Cleaning Fairy Lily. Tributes both. Emmy clears her throat and declares that she adores cleaning. Will make their room so clean that the blue sky above and anything can be made pretty and clean. Maddox wonders why Emmy is speaking like that. Yumi thinks she's lost it. And Yumu comes clean that it's actually part of a special segment aired as a full special for the Cure Maiden, which was super popular. Emmy puts her focus back on the duel to tribute summon Dinah Keto, the Cleaning Maiden, who appears at 2500 attack. Graves remembers that aired special, the Cleaning Maiden, and Maddox gas Emmy Ace Monster name and special. Yumi comments the show was pretty amazing, explaining it was an inspiring story of Emmy, a military school maid who remembers the son of a wealthy man who holed up in his room and gets him to throw away his collection. The word inspired confuses Maddox and Yugioh, explaining that Jojo Dodo, Yuhi is in tears, tells his sister that the whole Musaba town cried while Yuna is excited to see it. Yumu informs her that she got it recorded, so she'll lend it to them, much to the pleasure of Yuna. Emmy tells Makeda that just the protagonist she played in the special, they'll help him clean up all those plastic models he spread all over the field. Makeda claims that his models won't be put away so easily. He explains that Emmy, when she summons a level 5 or higher monster, she can activate this trap card. Decals shield and it can be applied to a finished model to make it even more realistic and cool. He chooses 2 monsters on his field and switches them to face-up defense position. When all face monster on his field gains 300 attack and defense. As 2 of his monsters' defense increased to 700, Emmy attacks her. Attaches her spell card, Mage Broom's Power, and Kano Keto. Gains 300 attack for every spell and trap card on the Makeda's field. The attack of Dinah Keto increases to 3100 attack. Emmy explains that if she has less life points than Makeda does, she can send a card from her hand to the graveyard to activate the effect of Dinah Keto, and she gains 1000 life points, and then Dino Keto gains 1000 attack until the end of the turn. Emmy life points raised to 1200, and the attack of the Dino Keto powers up to 4100, causing Makeda to gasp. What? Yugioh is impressed that a total. Gasp. Yugioh is impressed that a total comeback is possible, but Yugioh corrects him, saying that the attack of the full Scratching Around no is still high, and Makeda will still have life points remaining. A spotlight lands on Emmy as she claims that something has always missing, no matter how many dramas she appeared in. They were all the small studios with tight scheduling, but she made up for it with her performance. When she gains 1000 or more life points, she can activate the trap card, Missile of Solomon Mop, inflicting Makeda 1000 damage. Makeda's attack reduces to 2000 as 2000 life points. Attack reduces to 2000 as he cries that unfair. Emmy explains that if she has Dinah Keto on her field, her full Scratcherano loses 1000 attack for the rest of this turn. The attack of the full Scratcherano reduces to 2100 as Makeda panics. Emmy allows herself to send Makeda off of the best lines from the drama. Let me sweep away all your bad karma and evil desires. Danakito attacks with full surround with a blast of her broom. Makanda screams, no! And begs me not to throw away his plastic models as his life points reduced to 0. Nakata admits that he lost. Emi tells him that he is the older one, and it's time to stop being into plastic toys. Michael's sweat drops as he explains that plastic model is a hobby that can be enjoyed even as an adult. He may have put too many of his figures out on the field and decides to clean them up. He admits to him that plastic modeling deck he made was amazing and invites him to his house to come play with it if he wants to, and they can make models and read manga together. Makata remembers the shade of his helmet, admitting it sounds really fun and wants to see Earth's model kits, and he loves manga. Yus has never read manga before, and he remains curious. The lower his seat and comments that the duel was pretty interesting as Emi and Yuki cut back away. He approaches Makata, who apologizes for losing the duel. The Woog offers him to look at the box so he can cheer up. However, it is the same box that froze Rovian earlier. Yuna tries to rush over to Makata, but he is blocked by Modok's arm. Makata accepts, and just like last time, the Woog opens the box and freezes Makata solid as he calls out his dino friend name and worry. He cries that it's the same as when the Woog froze Robian. He runs over to the frozen Makata as he laments that they just promised that they'd build blast models and read manga together. He is trying to remember something about the manga and asks Yui if he remembers the manga they received from the Colosseum. He thinks he means Mr. Space and the bestest and meanest old man from outer space. He puts the pieces together. The Woog is the author of Mr. Space, which shocks everyone. The Woog turns to Elias, nodding that he is the author. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Help reach 1,000 plus subscribers. Watching videos fully helps increase the watch hours of Partisan Plus. And help fund the channel by donating on the monthly or on the Patreon page or one-time donations on the Ko-Fi page. Have a blessed day. See you all next video visit. But for now, bye.